Welcome back to another installation of Lindzi Illuminates It, number 7 of this series, and this time we are covering the unknown. When I say the unknown, I'm talking about mysteries, things that aren't covered as part of the mainstream education. So actually, the more research that I've done around, say, the human body, around nature, around the universe, these things are known as such. They have got a certain amount of evidence, but they're not shared. If you're the type of person that is curious and open-minded and talks about these things, you might get called a conspiracy theorist, you might be seen as a bit of a weirdo, and I think that is what stops people from straying from that narrative that we've been taught is the truth. The mainstream media leaves us with a pretty dull and depressing overview and understanding of the world. But what if things like fairies, mermaids, giants, what if there is truth behind them? And as I've said before in past series, I'm not here to say what is fact or not, but I just want to sow those seeds of curiosity. I want you to go on your deep dive and do this research yourself. I want to inspire that kind of research. The reason that I want to inspire it is because it's really exciting. There is so much out there that we either haven't been taught about, so we don't know about yet, that we don't fully understand. I think one of the things that people fall for is needing this scientific proof all of the time. And sometimes there is scientific proof to back up these things that actually just sound completely bizarre, and yet there is proof. Sometimes we just have to accept that there isn't always a rock solid, here is the proof. We've already established when we spoke about the brain that seeing is believing doesn't really count for much, because the brain can create memories for you, it can create images. If you see something, your brain will help you to make sense of it. So what you actually see and what your brain registers and tells you you've seen could end up being two different things. So sometimes you just got to keep an open mind, stay curious, and remember that we actually don't know everything. We have been taught as a society to become know-it-alls. The education system makes us believe that we can learn all of these things, that we do exams at the end of it, we pass these exams, and as such we know everything there is to be known. We're not encouraged to be learn-it-alls, and that is something that I really, really believe we should be fostering as an attitude. I'm still learning now. I'm in my mid-30s, and just as I think I've got a grasp on something, I hear a new theory and I discover something new. I start doing a whole other load of reading, and like I say, there is just so much out there to really get a grip of and to understand further on. And I just want everyone to feel that same level of excitement, that this human experience isn't just what we're taught that it is. There is so much more to understand. In my experience, the truth is far crazier than the fiction, and quite a lot of what we are taught as fact is actually turning out to be the fiction, and the truth itself is a little bit uncomfortable because it just sounds so bizarre. I think that the internet has been a real strength in this area, especially formats like TikTok. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, but on the other hand, there's a lot of people with real niche interests that have done a lot of research, that have perhaps been in that area for 10, 20 years, that are coming together with other people, and it's like this big jigsaw puzzle that's being put together with everybody bringing these little pieces, and what we're forming is this picture, this newfound understanding of our history as humans, the history of the world, and how everything is interconnected and operates within it. I would suggest that our history as humans has been set up and taught in a way that serves an alternative narrative, and that narrative keeps the rich rich. There's a very small, thin percentage of people that are right at the top, and that's who this corruption serves. I think a lot around our human history has been lost, but I also think that it's being rediscovered, and that we are alive at a time when perhaps those truths are going to start coming to the forefront. The things that I think you could look into include frequencies. Everything physical vibrates at different frequencies, and when you start to understand that, you start to see how your thoughts might well affect your physical surroundings. Frequency can be healing. It can affect your body in different ways. Also, things like monuments around the earth. Who really built the pyramids? We're taught who built the pyramids and how that happened as though that's absolutely factual, but when you start to look into it, there's so much other information and other theories, and we might not necessarily know exactly what is true, but that is the point. Why are we not taught that we don't know the truth? Why are we told this is how it happened? Aliens, our history, evolution. Did we evolve, or is it design? Did something with higher intelligence have some kind of input into our DNA? Things like the food that we put into our body. Is what we're told is good for us really good for us? Trees, for example, we know they're alive, but are they way more alive than what we've ever expected? Have you seen these videos where people are connecting with a tree and they ask the trees to stroke their face and the leaves come towards them and stroke their face? I mean, we're so quick to say it's just a coincidence, that's not true. Why do we shut these things down so quickly? We're just doing the job of the higher people that are trying to keep these things a secret for them by shutting these things down. I think that we should be questioning these things. We should be way more open-minded. Everything that you were taught in school was designed by somebody, and everything that you were taught in school was designed to suppress you and stop you from questioning anything any further. Now, fair warning, if you do go about and you start talking about conspiracy theories and having these deeper conversations, you'll probably get called all sorts of names. But as they say, ignorance is bliss. So maybe it's far easier to just stay quiet and to not question things. But I believe it's worth it. It is worth having this curiosity and this excitement around stuff. Can water be programmed, for example? There's been experiments where water that's been spoken to very negatively and abused has gone rotten, or when it's frozen has formed not symmetrical patterns, whereas water that's been spoken to very positively, when it's been frozen, has formed beautiful patterns or has stayed clear and hasn't gone funky. I mean, what is that all about? And why are they not sharing that on the mainstream news? Like, these things are miraculous. Other things to research: aliens, do they exist? The paranormal, ghosts, the other realms. The fact that we're locked in by our five senses. The only reason any of this exists is because we've got five senses. When you look at the actual sight, the colours that we can see, the spectrum is so small of colour that we can see. That means there's this huge spectrum of things that we can't even visually see. So who's to say that there aren't things all around us and we just can't lock into them? Chakras, energy, sixth senses, clairvoyancy, being a medium, people that say they can communicate with the other side. Why are these people shunned and called by the media for being witches and weirdos? Probably because they're speaking some element of truth that they don't really want us to all be talking about and thinking about. I think a lot of us have been brainwashed into wanting that sense of security and that comfort that comes from feeling like we know everything, feeling like everything is as it seems. But I'm here to say, shake that up. Start research, start having those conversations with each other and not laughing at each other, not being so quick to shut it down as, oh no, that's not the case because of this. Well, that thing that you're using as evidence is something that you have been told as well. None of us really know, so let's stay curious. As always, you can go onto our website and download the sheets that back up the little videos that I've been sharing. This is the 7th in the series. That means there's 6 others to catch up on. They're all 10 minutes long. They all cover a completely different topic, and as I already mentioned, they're just designed to get you thinking and questioning everything, and hopefully having a broader perspective on this beautiful, miraculous thing called life. See you next time.